And just before we bring you the news at 6 o'clock, the return of an old favourite. The space-age spy is back in action in this special episode of XO6 Future Spy.
Dr. Charles Blake sits alone in a private corner of London heliport, his battered briefcase the only luggage by his side, under a dirty rainmac. The first-class departure lounge virtually belongs to him, as one of only a small number of travellers and holidaymakers waiting for takeoff so early in the morning. The proximity of a new arrival in the departure lounge causes him to put down his newspaper. When he looks at me and recognises my face, he grunts in frustration and pretends to continue to read, ignoring me. I take the empty seat next to him, put my suitcase down between us, and wait patiently for a reaction. I do not have to wait for long.
Why do you persist in harassing me, Mr. McAllister? If that's your real name.
It isn't. And I'm trying to stop you from making a terrible mistake.
I've made my mind up. There's nothing for me in England anymore.
We both watch a holidaymaker loaded down with baggage waddle past us towards a departure gate. When she is out of earshot, I continue. You really think things will be better in the Red Bloc? Oh, don't look surprised. I know where you're flying off to.
It's my decision. I'm quite within my rights to switch to a new employer.
I smile at that. That would be an intriguing concept, I think. What's the attraction, if you don't mind me asking? Is it money?
No, not just money. Facilities. They promised me my own laboratory.
That sounded weak, and he knew it. Oh.
I've got ideas, McAllister, great ideas. In my mind and inside this suitcase, and they will appreciate them.
I glanced down at the case. It was not a coincidence that my own was the same colour, make and style. I keep Dr. Blake's attention on my face with a fixed stare. I'm sure. Well, Dr. Blake, I've been authorised to offer you up to 50,000 credits to stay.
Oh, suddenly they appreciate me now I'm leaving. Well, it's too late. Tell them it's far too late.
If you wish. A nasty thought occurs to Dr. Blake.
You're not going to try and stop me, are you?
Never. I reply, as if that hadn't even occurred to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 347 to Berlin is now boarding at gate 10.
I think that's your flight.
Go to gate 10.
You'd better get going. I smile without warmth as I hand Dr. Blake his rainmac. He takes it ungratefully, then snatches up what he thinks is his own suitcase and charges off to his gate. Good luck, Dr. Blake, I say to no one in particular, as I grip a firm hold on the handle of Blake's case full of secrets. He had taken my duplicate, as I'd intended. I think you're going to need it. There will be hell to pay when his new masters find that the luggage he is carrying is simply old newspapers.
That's the third defection in as many weeks.
Sir Jeremy Charteris, Minister of Defence for Great Britain, explodes. I ignore the outburst. At least we stopped him taking his research and design over with him.
Not good enough, XO6!
The Minister silences an incoming call on his desk video phone. A distraction right now would be unpalatable.
It's his brain that's the prize in all this. His heart and soul, corrupted to serve the needs of the Soviet Red Bloc. It turns my stomach.
I look over to the portraits of the English countryside hanging from the walls. The captured beauty of rural Somerset, a sharp contrast to the distant noise of London traffic and hustle outside. I only return my attention back to the minister when the man has calmed down somewhat. We need to address this problem at source, sir. Get to whoever is buttering up and recruiting our top scientists.
Yes, indeed. And just where are you on that?
When I questioned him, Dr. Blake was somewhat reserved on the matter. Unfortunately, he very quickly surmised that I was working for the intelligence services.
Yes, I read that in your report. Are you slipping, XO6?
Hardly. He is, a very clever man, sir. Sir Jeremy leans back in his chair.
Yes, they all are very clever. That's why they're such a loss to us when they go over. I simply don't understand the appeal of giving up this country for what's in store for them over there.
Perhaps they prefer the cold climate. I wasn't serious, of course, but the joke stopped me from commenting that I felt that one regime was probably pretty much the same as any other. An idea occurs to me. I think the issue here is with us cozying up to these potential defectors. It just doesn't work. We can't get to them quickly enough or close enough to them, and when we do, they see through us pretty quickly. What we need to do is bring ourselves to the attention of the recruiter directly. The minister steeples his fingers.
What are you getting at exactly?
Impersonation. Let's take a look at their targets. Dr. Charles Blake, Dr. Andrew Smythe before him, and Professor Sandra Day before him. All share a few commonalities. They're all great minds, well known to the news media, all of them dissatisfied with their present working conditions.
I see. Human bait. And do you think that you're capable of passing as a great scientist, XO6?
I admit that I grinned at the sarcasm. Barely. I give the minister a meaningful look, but I do have the dissatisfaction about present working conditions nailed. A false identity was forged for me. Dr. John Erickson, space scientist. My picture on his passport. A story run in the news media. Young genius space scientist John Erickson declines job offers from the big manufacturing companies. Wants to push the space program to its limits. A hint in the narrative of his frustration at lack of government funding. Would he be open to continuing his work overseas? You bet. It wasn't long until John Erickson had an accidental meeting with a very pretty young woman in a social setting.
Do I know you? I think I do. Is that really you?
She asks me, fluttering curled eyelashes. Depends on who you think I am.
You're the expert on rocket propulsion. Are you not? Eric Furt? Eric Ham?
Erickson. And you can call me John.
I am Nadia Kuznetsov.
Well, Nadia Kuznetsov. It's nice to be recognized. Are you a scientist yourself?
Of course not.
Then what's your interest in me?
What if I told you that I was attracted to intelligent men?
I'd run a mile.
Towards me, I hope. But no. I work for an organization that collects geniuses. We are called the Brain Center. We are aware of you. Have you heard of us?
I'm ashamed to admit not.
Do not apologize. We are highly selective over our members. Tell me, are you an adventurous man, John? And do you question everything?
I'm certainly questioning our meeting like this.
Here, take this card.
She hands me a small business card with the words Brain Center inside a cartoon drawing of a brain. Below, a motto, We think of everything. An old-style telephone number under that. When I look up, she's gone. I imagine she was trying to be mysterious, intriguing. She succeeded. I bit the hook and called the number, as was her intention, no doubt. A man answered, saying he'd be only too happy to meet and explain more about the ideals of the Brain Center organization. Was I free tomorrow night? Of course I was. I soon find myself sat in the departure lounge at London Heliport, just as Dr. Charles Blake had several days earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 347 to Berlin is now boarding at gate 10.
Fast forward a few hours, and I arrive at the address the man on the phone had told me about near Berlin. I was told to ring the bell for flat 7, assured of a warm welcome. The curious, adventurous John Erickson is about to attend his first meeting at their exclusive club.
What is it?
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Dr. John Erickson. I was told to...
I know who you are. Come in. Up to the first floor. Second door on the right.
Thank you. Oh, hello. Nadia, isn't it? Fancy meeting you here.
Come inside, quickly.
Inside, despite a brief, reassuring smile from Nadia, the warm welcome I had been promised consists of a very large man roughly searching me and my luggage for evidence to suggest that I was a spy. What are these items? I can explain.
What have you found?
They are some kind of electronics. It's the components of a tracking system. I'm not sure why you're surprised to find them on me. I am an electronics expert after all. It's kind of a hobby.
He's right, Dimitri. Let him have his things back. I trust him.
Nadia, I was assured of a warm welcome. I've given up a lot to come here. I do hope I haven't made the wrong decision.
We have to be careful. Not everyone shares our vision of the glorious future.
Which is what, exactly?
You'll find out more when you arrive at the brain center.
I assumed this was it. Where is it then? Somewhere here in Berlin?
No. You have travelled a long way, John. But there is still much further for you to go.
Well, I only packed for a short trip.
Don't worry. They will have everything we need on the moon.
On the what?
Are you quite sure you want to take this next step with us, John?
Is my happiness important to you?
You do not react to me like the others.
I'm immune to your charm.
There may be no return from where you are going. Why would you leave everything you have in England behind? I need to understand your reasons.
I do know what I'm getting into here. For a long time now, I've wanted to contribute to something bigger than myself. Something decent. Something with value. Your way of life in the Red Bloc appeals to me. It always has.
I am pleased to hear you say that. Genuinely.
You never needed to flutter your eyelids to recruit me, Nadia. I'm already all yours.
I see I have approached you in the incorrect manner. You are sympathetic to our cause. That makes what I have to do even harder.
What do you mean?
Don't try to resist it. Just let the sedative take you.
I don't understand.
When you wake up, your new life will have begun.
I wasn't expecting... You didn't have to...
You are not like the other Englishmen. I like you for what it's worth. I am sorry, but I must follow my orders.
Do you like books?
Do you like The Prisoner?
Do you like books about the prisoner?
Then what are you waiting for? Search online for the website of Quoit Media.
Who?
That's Quoit Media, Quoit, and then the traditional spelling of media.
And order yourself a copy of
Free for All, Rediscovering the Prisoner.
by Chris Bainbridge
and Cai Ross, based on their podcast, which is now only 227 subscriptions away from achieving national treasure status.
Episode guides, thoughtful analysis, decoded secrets, book recommendations, interviews, original illustrations, and one posset recipe. You want information?
You won't get it unless you order Free for All, Rediscovering the Prisoner.
The Great Expansion of 1997 saw humankind push outwards into the universe and establish home colonies on many planets in both our solar system and those closest to us. Yet, due to interminable squabbles over the ownership of the satellite, our most immediate astral neighbour, the Moon, has remained out of bounds, uninhabited. Until now. A secret base, consisting of a giant dome linked by transit tunnels to 6 smaller offshoots, lies hidden in the permanent night of the dark side of the Moon. The unregistered rocket ship transporting us touches down on a landing pad, and I am taken by wheelchair, unconscious, inside the facility. But I'm aware of none of this.
Nadia, welcome! Welcome at last!
Controller Volkov, I am so pleased to finally meet you.
Mwah! Mwah! Likewise. I was only too happy to grant your request to visit. I see you have brought our latest recruit.
Yes, comrade. I have a good feeling about this one. Look at him. He sleeps like a baby.
Let him rest. He will need much energy for the work ahead of him. Come, join me in the control room. I wish to show you around.
I awoke to find myself on a tough bed in a small featureless cabin. Rubbing my sore arm, where I had been injected by Nadia, I gradually regained the strength to sit up, then stand. I silently cursed myself for getting into this mess. The intention was to simply slip free from the Berlin flat and report Nadia and her colleague to the local authorities. Then they should have been arrested and interrogated to reveal the destination of the defectors. Now I had been kidnapped and taken who knows where, though I had a suspicion. I walked over to a tiny shuttered window and found a button to press to pull back the blinds concealed inside the glass. I took a sharp intake of breath as the view confirmed my fears about where I had been taken. Miles of dust and rock ended at a slightly curved horizon, and above, the curtain of star-flecked darkness that I recognized as the view of the solar system from our moon.
Ah, you are awake. Welcome, John. Have I got that right? John?
Correct.
I am Controller Volkov. Welcome to the Brain Center. I do not wish to alarm you, but you should know. You are on the moon, my friend.
I noticed. Was it really necessary for Nadia to knock me out?
It was absolutely necessary. The continued secrecy of our location is paramount. But Miss Kuznetsov sends her apologies for any discomfort. You can see her later.
I'm already looking forward to it.
She tells me you are a man of great intelligence. We have need of men like you.
Did she also mention that flattery doesn't work on me?
She did. You puzzle her, John. You are not like our other recruits. Most of them had to be persuaded, in one way or another, to join us. I hear you are already a member of the party, eh?
Sure. I don't, however, appreciate being kidnapped and launched into space.
Kidnapped? No. Let me tell you of the great work we do here at the Brain Center. I would like you to be a key part of our initiative.
And if I don't like what I hear?
We will send you back home on the next rocket ship.
Conscious or unconscious?
Unconscious, of course.
Alive or dead?
You are cynical, John. But I understand. Pessimism is the curse of the intelligent man.
Life has made me this way.
Unpack your luggage. Make yourself at home. We have a confluence of minds scheduled in the main hall in 1 hour. You can join Nadia as an onlooker. Get to know the brilliant work we do here. I am completely confident that when you see what we have to offer at the Brain Center, you will come to understand our mantra. We think of everything.
I had to play along, though for how long I could take it without revealing my lack of IQ I could not guess. Then there was the threat of bumping into Dr. Charles Blake up there. The man would recognise me for what I am at once, and that would be disastrous.
Bacteria strain 36 reacted most interestingly when exposed to solution A7. As you were likely
Is this seat taken?
You must be quiet. We must not interrupt.
Terribly sorry.
Bacteriologic growth, effectively killing them off as they can spread no further. You see, the presence of A7 not only retarded growth, but actually seemed to retract it. I must therefore conclude that my experiment was a complete success and a fantastic indication that further work in this area could yield great results.
That's very interesting.
Bravo, Professor Day! Yes, let us applaud this fantastic breakthrough.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to finally get some appreciation.
Now, if we have no further updates, let us move on to the next item for discussion. Today's brainstorm, if you allow me to describe it in such a vulgar manner. Today's thought experiment. Our objective is to paralyze the economy of a European country. What shall we call this place? Ha! Let us call this theoretical country Volkov land.
May I ask, what is the primary export of this country?
An excellent starting point, Dr. Blake. It is vehicles, computer equipment, and so on.
I guess sabotage of the manufacturers is out of the question?
Let us say we must use less overt methods.
Interesting. So, if we can't attack the factories, how about we attack the workforce?
Please explain, Professor.
Couldn't we convince
Look at them. They're all feeding off each other.
They are collaborating most effectively.
Is this your glorious future being planned?
Rebellion or some such.
I think the Professor, whom you interrupted, had something else in mind.
Well, assuming the manufacturing plants of this Volkov land are not fully automated yet, we could always hobble them by directly targeting the people involved.
And just how would we do that, Professor?
A nasty little virus, perhaps?
Targeting the working classes, of course. I mean, it's a shame they'd be the ones who'd have to suffer.
Yes, pity the proletariat. But would anyone even notice if the middle class were wiped out?
It would have to be a serious illness, of course. We couldn't have the infected returning to work after a few days in bed. So
They are talking so casually about mass murder.
Gastrointestinal. There would certainly be fatalities.
How might we propagate our virus? Dr. Blake, do you have any ideas?
Well, if it's transmitted by droplets, I guess we could release it from a low-flying aircraft. Same with aerosol transmission, I imagine. Of course, the delivery mechanism could be a small pilotless aircraft, something that would be shielded from scanners.
Interesting. Please continue.
Well, we could create...
This is all very clever and very sinister. Take a bunch of the world's smartest but somewhat emotionally illiterate people, isolate them, make every challenge seem to be an exercise in theory rather than practice, and what do you have?
A brain center.
For an evil brain.
But the things they discuss, they are theoretical only.
Do you really believe that? All of this is being recorded for future use. And look at Volkov. Look at that hunger in his eyes.
Enough! Enough for now, my friends. You have given me so much food for thought, I am positively bursting at the seams. We will reconvene tomorrow and continue this discussion. In the meantime, you must all return to your personal project. I am forgetting one final matter. We have another new member joining us today. It would be remiss of me to fail to introduce him.
Ah, I was hoping to avoid this for a little longer.
Dr. John Erickson, please stand up so we can all see you.
Do I have to? I'm feeling rather shy today.
Stand up, take a bow, meet your new comrades.
Wait a minute. I know that man.
I imagine the two of you crossed paths at one of your illustrious universities, yes?
We certainly did not. He tricked me. Took my briefcase. He's a spy. He's a goddamn spy.
Guards, arrest that man.
Don't come any closer, gentlemen. As you can see, I'm armed.
How did you smuggle that weapon into this base?
I assembled it from several innocent components brought with me. You people don't have the monopoly on intelligence, you know.
Nadia, why did you not check him thoroughly before bringing him here?
I am sorry, Controller. I thought he was supposed to be an electronics expert. It seemed reasonable for him to have some equipment.
Silence! Well, Dr. Erickson, what do you intend to do now?
You're going to take me to your control room, where I'll radio Earth and tell them everything about this circus of intellectual sadists, with you as the ringleader.
And if we refuse to cooperate?
I'll neutralize the brain center, starting with the head.
Controller.
Pull the trigger. I have no fear.
Don't think I'm bluffing.
Shoot. It is of no consequence.
I don't understand. I tested this earlier.
You must remember that we think of everything. That is an improvised electronic pulse weapon, yes? Dr. Matsumoto here has devised a dampening field to render all pulse weapons inactive. The first step to world peace, after all, is disarmament. It was a magnificent achievement, Dr. Matsumoto.
Thank you, Controller.
Guards, arrest him.
I would like to think that had I not still been disorientated from being drugged, I would have put up a stronger defense. As it was, the burly, shaven-headed guards too easily grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and forced me to surrender. Let me go!
Take him away while we decide his fate?
Yes, Controller. You move.
This is all quite distasteful.
I apologize to you all that you had to witness that violence. Do not be concerned. The spy will be dealt with.
Are we safe here, Controller? You promised you'd protect us from things like this. What action will be taken as a result?
I want to see him punished for what he's done.
Your opinion is noted, Dr. Blake. In fact, we will decide this man's fate as a group. And also yours, Nadia. Never let it be said that we are not democratic.
It's been 18 months since the trench beneath the Antarctic, dubbed the Bottomless Pit, was exposed. While automated probes have been sent down, this will be the first manned attempt to explore it. The crew of 5 will be using a specially designed submersible capable of withstanding enormous pressures. With a bill reportedly running into the billions, it's a big risk for the energy company Advantage, who are backing the project.
Victor Hotel 7 Fort Alpha, this is Beckett Station. You are clear for final approach.
Definitely Human presents Down.
The charming guards locked me in my cabin, and I found myself the prisoner of a twisted think tank. I pace up and down in my cell, as they calmly discussed ways in which to annihilate me. At least, that is my assumption.
Stand back, please, John. The guards have been told not to hurt you, unless you provoke them.
I wasn't expecting them to send you as my executioner.
You are quite wrong about control of Volkov and the objective of the brain center. They are working for the advancement of all humanity.
You are an intelligent and sensitive woman, Nadia. I know you don't believe that.
Now who is resorting to flattery? To prove this, they are letting us leave, unharmed, so we can return to Earth together.
And let me give away their location?
The brain center have decided it is time to announce their existence. You have simply hastened this action. We have been authorized to return to Earth, where we will both report to our superiors.
Well, what are we waiting for? Lead the way to the airlock, Nadia.
Come.
Are those two going to be accompanying us all the way back to Earth?
Only to the rocket. It is just the two of us departing for Earth.
Good. A fueled and ready rocket ship is primed and waiting for us. The same craft that had brought us here, no doubt. Finally, alone inside the cockpit, I try to press Nadia for the truth about what is happening.
Please, sit down and strap yourself in. I will take care of blastoff.
Nadia, I would like to talk to you about something.
Please, do not talk.
Nadia.
So, the time has come for you to leave us.
It was very gracious of you to simply let me go.
We do not want you here. Go home. Tell your people about the brain center. We have nothing to hide.
Why not let me radio them now? I noticed the long-range communication equipment aboard this ship has been disabled. Deliberately, I take it?
We did this to allow us more time to prepare the communication. By the time you get to Earth and to report to your superiors, we will already have announced ourselves.
Got an answer for everything, haven't you?
Launch sequence initiated.
Farewell, Nadia.
I thank you, Controller, for the second chance you gave me.
Second chance?
Talk no further.
You should fasten your seatbelt. This is an old ship, and the journey will be turbulent.
Very well. Safety first. As we punch upwards towards the blue and green sphere of Earth, I watch the moon base through a porthole as it grows smaller and smaller beneath us. I glance at Nadia. Her face is grim, determined. Is that a tear in the corner of her eye?
Rocket ship N7X reporting successful launch.
I've got you into a lot of trouble, haven't I?
I do not wish to discuss it.
Your part in this whole operation was to vet the new recruits, and you didn't do that thoroughly enough in my case. For what it's worth, I apologize.
I trusted you. I liked you, even. Ha! I don't even know your real name.
I haven't got one, or I'd share it with you. But you may know me as XO6.
You continue to make my work so much more difficult.
What work is that, Nadia? Your current aim, I mean. Let me guess. It is to kill us both. Am I right?
You know?
I'd get out of my seat and tear you away from the controls if I could. But I'm willing to bet that this seatbelt that you were so keen for me to wear is rigged to buckle up, but to not release. Yep, I was right.
What gave me away?
I needed to be disposed of, and you needed to be punished. Our joint fate was decided by a group of people desperately keen to preserve their anonymity, who wouldn't want our bodies found anywhere near their precious brain center. They wouldn't dream of getting their own hands dirty by arranging a good old-fashioned execution, so an accident in space must have seemed pretty appealing. That is the intention, I take it.
I am to pilot us back to Earth, where there will be a controlled explosion on landing. It is all set up already. A pressure-activated bomb in the landing gear. It will seem to be a terrible accident.
You don't have to do this.
It is my penance. I have failed. The glorious future I have always worked for has been placed at risk by my weakness.
They're manipulating you. I would like to think that your glorious future and Controller Volkov's glorious future are two entirely different things, Nadia. There'll be no forgiveness granted by dying for a rotten cause.
Be silent.
How long do we have?
Until landing? 2 hours. Enough talk.
I'm not going to stop talking, Nadia. We both know what you're doing isn't right.
I must follow my orders. Right to the end.
Like a good little agent.
You are a pawn in this game as well, I think. The difference between us is that I am working towards a great cause. What do you fight for? Do you even have a cause? Which side are you on?
I'm British, through and through.
Great Britain, a failed empire, led by decadent old men, desperately trying to feel relevant.
Well, we're not the ones planning genocide.
Volkov does not represent us. He's subverting our cause.
Are you sure, Nadia?
Yes.
Then he should be stopped. Shouldn't he?
What other choice do I have? You must know what happens if we do not follow orders. And Volkov is tracking this ship. Any deviation from the plan, and they would know immediately. It would be the two of us against the brain centra. They think of everything.
I think I know a way to outsmart them. Intelligence isn't everything. To win you need guts, instinct, audacity, right and truth and justice on your side. And we've got that, Nadia, you and me. We can and will defeat them. If you'll help me.
Controller Volkov, we have an incoming communication.
Put it up on screen.
This is N7X calling Moonbase. N7X calling Moonbase. Come in, please.
Go ahead, Nadia. We can hear you, but we cannot see you. Is there a communication fault? I was not expecting to speak with you again.
I am sorry, Controller. There has been an unforeseen complication.
Surely not, Nadia. At the brain center, we think of everything.
The spy attempted to escape from his restraints and became agitated. He has damaged some onboard equipment, including the camera. I had to strike him down.
Proceed with orders received.
He's already dead, Controller. He fell back and hit his head. His skull is cracked. He has no pulse. I killed him.
It is of no importance. Continue as planned.
No, I won't do it. By executing him, I have already compensated for my mistake. I will not commit suicide for the cause.
You cannot come to a landing, Nadia, or the bomb will explode. You know this. There is no return for you.
Speak with Dr. Blake. He set the bomb. He may be able to tell me how to disarm it.
Hold contact. I will discuss it with him.
Controller Volkov, I have something to report.
Not now. I am busy. Dr. Blake, are you reading me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you, Controller.
Were you able to set the explosive device to be triggered by remote control?
Yes, Controller. I thought we should have a backup plan in case it failed to detonate on landing.
Excellent. You! What is the current location of N7X?
Transponder signal is showing it as position 2450 yellow, Controller. But there is another issue.
Not now! That is far enough a distance from us.
I'm sorry, did I just hear him say 2450 yellow is their location?
It is?
I'm fairly sure that's the location of a satellite used by British transport rockets as a stopover. I think she's trying to trick us.
Detonate the bomb! Immediately!
But, Controller...
Detonating now!
What is happening?
We have lost power in Sector 3 and 4. Reports of fires in the airlock bay.
Controller? Controller, we're losing air down here.
How is this possible? Nadia! Ah! Get the N7X back on screen, now!
Greetings.
You? What have you done?
You lot are supposed to be the clever ones. Why don't you tell us?
The transponder signal said you were on a British satellite.
We are, aren't we, Nadia? And so is the transponder circuit we removed from the rocket ship before sending the ship back to you on automatic pilot. We didn't want to ruin the surprise that the N7X was on its way back to you.
I was trying to inform you of this, controller.
Of course. You were able to dock with a satellite without engaging the landing gear.
You people are also caught up in your own brilliance. You fail to consider the obvious. That I would refuse to go through with your plan. That we would not think of a way to get off the ship without a landing.
The space police are on their way to the moon base now. Nadia here was kindly able to provide me with your coordinates.
We have done nothing wrong!
Explain it to them when they arrive.
Controller, are you reading me? The exterior wall has been breached. We're losing air. Fast!
Life support systems are starting to fail.
Do you hear that? You have condemned us!
Let's hope the authorities arrive before you lose all of your oxygen.
And if they don't?
You're a clever bunch. I'm sure you'll think of something. XO6 out.
He's right, XO6. The police will not be able to arrest them. No real crime has been committed.
They don't need to arrest them. The embarrassment and loss of secrecy will be enough to force them to shut down, at least temporarily. And it gives my government a pretext to get their wayward experts back home again. All thanks to you.
I should not be as pleased about this as I am feeling.
There is a better way to achieve your glorious future. Now you're free to find it.
Free? How can I be free? It is your duty now to hand me over to your superiors. They will lock me away. I will never see daylight again. I know how all of this works. I am your enemy.
Are you? It was clever of you, Nadia Kuznetsov, to hide a small injector gun on your person. The same you used on me before taking me up to the moon. Just when I thought I'd defeated the brain center and you and I were forming a friendship, you produced the gun and injected a knockout dart into my upper arm. Then you made your escape by sneaking on board the next rocket to depart from the station. I believe it leaves in 5 minutes. You'd better hurry now.
I won't forget this.
Please try very hard. Go on, go.
Wait! Can I add something to this little fiction you have imagined?
Go ahead.
To distract their handsome spy before she rendered him unconscious, the evil Soviet agent looked him in the eyes, took his face tenderly in her hands, and kissed him passionately.
I do not doubt, Nadia, that you could convert anyone to your cause.
Yes?
But this spy is not for turning. Das Vidanya, Nadia.
Until we meet again, XO6.
Yes, until we meet again.
You have been listening to XO6 Future Spy, The Brain Center. XO6 was played by James Baxter, Nadia, Cat Leroy, Controller Volkov, Matthew Woodcock, Dr. Blake, Cai Ross, Sir Jeremy, Scott Campbell, Professor Day, Niamh Griffiths, voiceover, Giles Cosgrove. Other parts played by the cast. Music by Mr. Brown. Series created by James Baxter. XO6 Future Spy is a non-monetized production, and every episode could be the last. If you enjoyed the show, please let us know by leaving a review or following us on social media.